President Watts, dear colleagues, members of the staff of the Senate and the legislature and the executive branch, Jolene, Mom, and my children and grandchildren, my dear family and friends, my former colleagues at Fabian and Clendenin, and my colleagues at the Utah State Bar. I thank you for being here, and I thank the Senate for the friendship and support. I'd like to take this occasion to introduce my family. 3 of our children live out of state, and we're here for the inauguration, which I very much appreciate. And so to Braden and his family, and Davis and his family, and Christian and his family, I say hello as they listen over the internet. But I wish to recognize my daughter Andrea Wright and her children, in and out and up and down, and Ryan and his children, also to Eliza and her children, and to my brothers and sisters and my wife's brothers and sisters, most of whom are here today. We love so much. I express my love for my wife, without whom I could, I don't know what I could accomplish really. What an exceptional woman, and what an exceptional marriage we've had. And that is really the foundation of the happiness of our life and our ability to give service. Thank you, President, for this moment of giving an address. Thanks to you, Senators, for your affirmative vote in confirming Governor Herbert's selection. It means a great deal to me. And on this momentous day, I pause to also make note of the orderly and open transition that has occurred in the reins of government of the state of Utah. From one governor to the next, from one lieutenant governor to the next. It's a marvel that happens so rarely around the world. And I note that Senator Urquhart, almost with second sight, prepared the state for the transition through a constitutional amendment like this, and the transition has occurred so smoothly. I thank Governor Herbert for the confidence he's placed in me by making this selection. The people have not had an opportunity to vote upon me. They have voted for him, understanding that it was a possibility that he might ascend to this high office, and indeed that occurred. And so we rely upon him and his judgment and your confirmation. I know I can't outwork Governor Herbert. I've learned that. He is a man of incredible energy and devotion, and those are just not platitudes with him. I, however, will give him my loyalty and my devotion, and I know that he will become a great success. I'm genuinely excited for the state of Utah to become better acquainted with this able, principled, energetic man. It's going to be an exciting time. In a moment, I will leave this hallowed chamber no longer a member of this wonderful body. As I lay down the lofty and inspiring title of Senator, I'm profoundly grateful to the people of Farmington, Kaysville, Fruit Heights, and a large part of Layton and a small part of Centerville who have entrusted me with their representation as their senator. To them I say thank you. One of the great personal benefits of serving in the Utah Senate has been the friendships and associations which I have made with all the people involved in the governmental process, including the judiciary and the executive branch. My feeling and affection for the staff in the Senate and in the legislature really go beyond expression. And for you, my dear senatorial colleagues, I express my warmest regard. You are fine men and women committed to public service, willing to make the sacrifice and meet the great demands which that imposes upon you. I love the legislative process because all points of view are heard, and the final product most often reflects the wide views of the community interest. The intelligence and ability of you fine senators I find remarkable, and I have learned so much from you. Working with you has changed my life, and you have made me a far better person, and thank you for that. I especially thank President Mansell and President Valentine for their kind tutelage and confidence. They both added luster to the Senate and helped me very generously along the way. To the Republican leadership team I have served with, please know of my respect and affection for you. You couldn't be better. I marvel at your judgment, your goodness, your unselfishness. You have great stature. And to the minority party, I wish you well. You have been just wonderful to work with. May you always be in the minority. To President Wattis, my deep and sincere thanks. You seem to know from the first moment, as did Senator Dayton, that I'd be the next Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for your leadership, your quiet integrity, your wisdom, your goodness, your fairness, your striving for balance, for letting all voices be heard, and like your predecessors, honoring the great institution of the Utah State Senate. My final comment is to the people of Utah. I pledge to show civility and respect to everyone. And whether your ancestors have lived here for 1,000 years, or came across the plains, or whether you just arrived in a moving van this summer, I extend to you my welcome to the state of Utah and my personal goodwill. And I invite you to become part of our community, to contribute, to be positive, to be upbeat, to criticize less, and to give more. And to all of us, let's talk more about principles and policies and practices, and not so much about people. Let's give alternatives instead of complaints. And mostly, let's talk to each other. It seems to me that a big part of the problem in Washington is that people and parties have quit talking to each other. They just take positions. They play to their faithful. They talk over the heads of those who oppose them, and they polarize the public. And now, with the biggest problems facing this beautiful country that we've ever faced outside of war and depression, we have a dysfunctional Congress because they don't talk anymore. I want to do all I can to avoid that polarization in the state of Utah. Let's all decide to avoid self-righteousness and finger-pointing and personal attacks. We all know these things destroy families. They destroy workplaces. They destroy relationships. Why do we allow them in politics without a second thought? And we as citizens owe this state, we owe our children and grandchildren far more than partisan politics. We owe them an example of decorum, of mutual respect, and devotion to the greater good. We owe them vision and propriety and laws enacted on the noblest of principles. Again, please accept my thanks for your kindnesses to me and my best wishes as we continue to work together for the people of this great state of Utah. God bless.